This episode is brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. A place where everyone is a loved member of the podcasting community. To link up with these shows and find your next podcast addiction, visit YouRunPodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
A Superman goes fascist. Now that's a scary movie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott,
My name is Marc.
and we are the only interactive horror movie review show in the entire world. You pick the movies every single week. You get involved with interactive features. We play games. We do everything. Apart from this week, there are hardly any interactive features because we had a tie in the final of a poll. So we picked the movie ourselves because you lot couldn't decide. And for the first time ever, it was a joint unanimous decision, which never happens.
Never happens. No, we don't tend to agree. To be fair, we've had a good run at the moment. We've had some great movies that we seem to be sort of marrying up a lot of our scores with, which is unusual for me and you. I'll be honest with you.
It's very strange. And also, like, I suggested a couple of movies, you batted a couple back, and then I come back and went, actually, how about this? And you went, yes,
Yeah.
that's the movie. The way this works, if you've never listened before, is we give you a review and our scores. We then dive into a deeper look at what we liked and what we didn't like. It goes in no particular order. However, sometimes we tend to fall into the trap of doing it in order, but sometimes we bounce around. After that, we're going to play a game. In fact, we kind of have two games this week. One that's really fun and one that's really, really fun. I'm very, very sure. We got a really good episode today. Today we're putting on our spandex and we're taking a look at Brightburn from 2019. Brightburn is Superman if the alien child decided to be an arsehole instead of a hero. We follow the Bryars family as they raise Brandon, a boy found in a crashed spacecraft. When he hits puberty, unlocks his magical abilities that include super strength, super speed, laser vision, and flying. He is literally Superman. Now, unlike standard superhero stories, Brandon does not want to save the world. He wants to take it over. He's ruthless, and anything and anyone who doesn't align with his way of thinking is instantly a threat and has betrayed him, and therefore deserves violent execution in some of the most incredible ways. This film is great. I love a twisted superhero tale. I always like anti-heroes. He's definitely not an anti-hero, but I like that dark element of superhero lore. The gore is more than I expected. The casting is fabulous, even though half of them have been plucked from the whole cast in this. You look at them and go, it's you from Thingy. Oh, you're the guy from that. I would like to have seen more with the struggle within Brandon. Like, he goes from being normal kid to super villain and does some of the most heinous things with kind of no remorse. And I wanted there to be a little bit more of a struggle. I also would like him to be a lot less rapey in many, many scenes in this movie. But all in all, it's a solid, great action horror movie, and I would argue the best superhero movie made by the Gunn family. It gets a 4 out of 5 from me.
Yep, solid score. For me, I really like this movie. My rewatch didn't hold up as well as I expected it to be. I was adamant this was a 5 out of 5 movie. But I think the problem is time has shifted, and I think the superhero genre has become less campy as a whole and a lot darker in general, which makes something like Brightburn less impactful in today's cultural society with the superhero movies that we're all witnessing. Take even just a Spider-Man, the current version of the Spider-Man. They go to some really, really dark places with that. And especially with some of the TV series that Marvel's pumping out at the moment. And I mean, as much as DC has always been a dark hero verse anyway, the latest Batman movie is about as close to a gothic horror movie as you can possibly get, I would say, within the superhero world.
Yeah.
And that did affect my rewatch slightly. I remember when I first watched Brightburn, I was like, wow, this is refreshing. This is really, really cool. The only thing I've ever really seen dip its toe into something like this is the TV series Heroes. So for me, I was really blown away by it the first time. And that's not to say on my latest rewatch I disliked it. I didn't at all. I think Gunn does a fantastic job of directing this movie. Visually, it looks really, really cool. He does creative things, although he is restricted slightly by his budget, and that shows quite a lot in some of the CGI on the later scenes. But I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's fantastic, and this is probably one of the best performances I've seen from her, barring Rita Repulsa in the latest Power Rangers reboot. She looks great in that movie, by the way. But the kid who plays young Clark Kent, he's fantastic. I also like the dad. The sound design in this is actually really incredible, and that's one thing that I picked up, especially this time around, is how quality the audio is in certain scenes and how it relies heavily, not in a jump scare kind of way, but it kind of in a jump scare kind of way, but not, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, it's done in a way like, for example, when his eyes go, like
Yeah.
they as they light,
Yeah,
you can almost hear that.
you can hear the crackling before it comes, and
then when it goes, it's like.
Yeah, you can feel the intensity from the noise of it. Same with when he's flying around later on. It's like you almost hear him before you see him, which in a way it sometimes does happen with, depending on the speed, when you get aeroplanes and stuff like that. It's the same sort of thing. Sonic boom, yeah. And for that, I really applauded it this time around. But again, I think the only thing that really held it back from me is the message itself of what this movie was trying to represent was how nurture and nature affect how Superman would have turned out, which is the overall message of this. But I don't think that plays into it very well, because as much as that's what they're trying to say, the parents in this movie are, if not the same as the Kent family. So for me, that message falls short a little bit. Had this been with the parents from Michael Myers' Rob Zombie's version, I would have bought into a little bit more of the nature versus nurture element of what the story was trying to tell us. But there was a few instances where, okay, so there's a girl at school that's annoying him, and that's what's turned him into this super killer that wants to take over the world. To me, that's like, you're trying to say that the parents have done a bad job of raising him, and if they're not, he wouldn't have been the way he was. But I think the parents are absolutely brilliant in this.
Yeah, I do.
They love him and shower him with affection constantly, similar to the Kents in the Superman world. So for me, I think the message is just slightly missed there in what they were trying to showcase. And that, for me, again, being a bit older and having a little bit more of understanding of that kind of thing, that was what brought my score down. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 because I really enjoy this movie. It's a solid watch, but as I said, the only reason why that sounds like a shock of a score is because before I actually watched it in preparation for this episode, I was adamant this was a 5 out of 5 movie for me.
Yeah, the thing is, it is a really good movie. There are things that it doesn't do very well. You're right, the nature versus nurture thing, that is kind of meant to be the overriding message. But they also, they convolute it and make it a little bit more messy, where they do the whole thing where they explain about the specific type of wasp that drops its eggs somewhere else because it can't look after them, and that's effectively Brandon. He's the wasp. He's been dropped there for other people to care for him until he's ready to then be super arsehole. And man, he does that little kid does Sinister so well.
Yeah, I think it's just the whole void of emotion thing that he has going on, which just works brilliantly.
Did you notice even in the baby clips when they're showing the baby, not once is the baby like, haha, like really happy. The baby's just like
monotone.
Yeah, the baby's like, yeah, whatever. It's a rattle. It's got that vibe to it. It's so clever.
I mean, so let's just talk about this movie from the opening. I know we don't go in order, but let's just do it straight off the bat, because my curiosity always stems from, what would you do?
Well, before we do the what would you do, we do need to do this.
It's Wednesday morning and the vibe is unglued. Her and Dizzle and Bitty in a what the fuck mood. From the arcade floor to the ranking of treats, it's the wild style chaos that'll knock you off your feet. Throw the script in the trash, keep the energy high, cause there's nothing that's crazy passing them by. No filter, no limits, just a loudmouth crew doing exactly what the fuck they wanna do. What the fuck are you?
It's a cinematic ride, total chaos on the mic. Will and JT thrashing tropes that you like. From the jumpscares to the gore, it's a wild style feat. These crazy motherfuckers bringing real movie heat. They're the kings of the scream and the horror review, where the takes are unhinged and the show is too. Yeah, the script's getting bent and the vibes for the streets. Keep it loud, keep it proud with the boys of dead beats.
So make sure you go to yourunpodcast.com. On there, you'll find links to all of the shows of the You Run Podcast Network. We have a brand new show that's just joined as well, which is the Graveyard Club podcast. Amazing Irish horror podcast, dives into all manner of weird and wonderful things. Like at the moment, they're doing a series covering all of the mummy movies. So they've just done Curse of the Aztec Mummy from like 1930 something. So they do a real mix over there. Go and check all the members out. You're going to find something you really, really like. Also, there you get links to all of our socials, including the one on Instagram, where you get to vote on movies. Hopefully you can vote in a way that doesn't end up in a tie, so we can keep saying this is the show where you pick the movies, as opposed to being Mark going, well, you lot don't know, we'll just do that, which is what.
No, I kind of enjoy it when we pick.
It's so rare. Like I, when it happened, I was like having a look back through. It must be probably one episode a year that you and me pick.
Yeah, it's not very often. We do sometimes we'll take over and pick the polls, where you give us the opportunity to pick our own poll month, poll week, but not necessarily an episode where we're like, right, this is what we're doing this week.
No, exactly that. Also, make sure you rate and review us everywhere you can. So that's Spotify, YouTube. You can't rate us, but you can comment and like and subscribe and do that stuff. Also, Apple Podcasts. Also, go to patreon.com/You Run Podcasts, and on there you'll get early access to this show almost a whole week early, and you get it without ads. So you won't hear this bit, you won't hear the bit you've just heard, you'll just hear the full episode minus that. You also get early access to true crime, loads of exclusive, loads of other cool stuff, and even the occasional video from Mark when he opens his parcels and his gifts and shares them with the world.
It's the same as my review page. They come in special little nuggets.
They're special. It's the same. Like if you're married, it's the same frequency in which you get mind-blowing sex.
And it's the same results as well. I promise you that.
It is. It's shock and awe followed by, oh, is that it? So go and do all of those wonderful things. It really helps us out. It really helps the network out as well. So yourunpodcast.com is where you need to go. Get everything you possibly need there. What would I do? I would call the authorities if I found an alien baby in a spaceship. Lisa would adopt that baby in a heartbeat without calling anybody.
You see, I'd be calling people, but not for the reasons of worry or safety, or because I want to keep it for myself. I would be thinking about the financial implications of the discovery.
So you're one step away from being those parents who hawk their kids out on social media.
Well, it's not my kid, is it? This is my point. You know what I mean? It's just something that's fallen out of the sky. I have no sympathy for it. I'm like, ka-ching.
The thing is, like, if you you're there. They have massively hammer home the fact they're struggling with infertility. So when it opens up, there's a book on, are you infertile? And then it pans slightly down, and there's another book, does your sperm work? And then there's another book next to it that goes, you are barren. And like, they hammer it so hard, and then when you get the alien crash, like they do it in a way that makes you go, I get it, I understand why, but man, do they smash that point home. They can't.
They do, yeah. And I think that's one thing that James Gunn does quite cleverly. You know, he leans on humor, and I think that was a humorous opening without being a direct ha ha ha. You know, it's one of those pick up on it and you'll get the message kind of thing, but it executes the exposition quite easily very early on, you know. And again, like, we know this is a Superman origin story. James Gunn has said this is a Superman origin story. Like, there's no getting away from it. We all knew what we were getting with the movie from the first trailer. So I don't think they needed to lean too heavily into that at the beginning of the movie. One thing that always bothers me when I watch it, though, is how far into the movie it is before the parents realize, he is actually an alien. Maybe we should be worried about some of his actions.
Well, I don't think it's the fact they don't realize he's an alien. I think it's they know he's an alien. They're content with the fact he's an alien because he looks like a human.
That's what I mean, though. But like, surely every day it gets to the point where the kid's like 12, 13 at this point. And he's like, he's never bled, he's never bruised. Like, how is this the first time you're having this conversation about this weird creature you found on a spaceship?
Yeah, like that one really got me. Like, he's never bled, he's never been bruised, he's never been sick. Like, that's great, but in reality, that's not kids, because kids every fucking 10 minutes they've got a cold or a sniffle. Or, like, my kids have never got a second in their life they haven't got a bruise of some description where they've.
My kids look like fucking gone off bananas all the time.
Yeah, and it's where they're jumping on things, they roughhouse with their friends, they're playing football, they're fucking falling over at home. Like, literally today, my daughter brought her scooter into the back garden, tripped over the back step, and face planted on the floor. I was like, "Are you all right?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she gets up and dusts herself. Cut my leg. Like, it's just what kids do. So yeah, to have a kid that doesn't have that is weird. Yeah. And as a parent, see, this is the question. They've not got kids already.
But so they know people who have kids. Like, people have kids. And if you're a parent and you have friends who don't have kids, all you do is whinge to them about your kids. So they know what a kid should be like.
Yeah, and to be fair to Brandon, he's kind of the perfect kid. He never gets sick. He never gets hurt. He's good at school right up until he isn't. I love the sleepwalking stuff. Like, because Lisa had not seen this before, so when we're watching this, she didn't know what it was. She missed, so she come in after the spaceship.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, is this another possession movie?" I'm like, "No." And then you hear the
vibe to it, though, doesn't it?
It does when you get the noises, and he's like, "Oh," and goes wandering off to the barn. When he fucking jumps out of his window to go to the barn, it's the funniest fucking thing ever. Just splat.
Yeah, the way he falls down like he's just fucking committed Harry Carey.
He just splats on the floor, and then his dad's like, "You all right? You want to come back indoors?" Like, yeah, I'm fine.
One thing I really like about that scene in the barn where he goes to the ship, and I don't know if it's, I can't remember whether it's the first time or the second time he goes to the ship, but he starts translating what the ship is saying.
Yeah.
Take the world. And then he obviously, I've just done it in like 2 seconds, but it goes on for a couple of minutes as he's battling with these weird translations. And then you finally realize what it is he's trying to say. And his eyes glow red and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a real Superman moment. Like, Superman has dark moments in the comics. Like, he go full evil in the comics at times. But this is the only time I think it's been done on screen. I think they do a really good job. And I also think they do a good job of him discovering his powers. The scene with the lawnmower is fucking amazing, where he's like yanking it and yanking it and yanking it to get it to start. And then the next thing, he sends it like 700 meters across a field.
I always thought his dad caught him sticking his hand in it for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason in my mind, I don't know if there's another movie out there that does a similar sort of scene. But I always thought there was a moment, do you know, where he sticks his hand into the blades and it just fucking destroys the lawnmower and his hand's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I thought his dad catches him doing that. And that's when
No.
the questions start to arise.
No, see, I like that as well, where he like puts it in and it mangles. I'm gonna say this kid shows a massive restraint. Like, and I know that sounds weird, but he's 12.
Yeah, that does sound weird for this movie because he does some creepy shit.
He's 12. I have a 10-year-old boy. I can guarantee you, if he realized he had this powers, the world wouldn't last 20 minutes. Like, it genuinely wouldn't. He'd be like, shit, all these things I've always wanted to do. Fuck, I'm going to go and fly to Tokyo because I want to go and nosy around the shops. Oh, I don't need to pay for stuff now because I can just take it and no one can stop me. Like a young child's mind, like you imagine becoming this powerful at age 13. How much of a fucking liability would you have been?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would be uncontainable, to be honest with you, with the things that I would want to do.
You'd be Homelander in about a minute.
Yes, Homelander. Yeah. But you see, the thing is, like, he does do a lot of things that are really fucking weird and creepy. And I guess in a way, he does do it with the reservations of he doesn't want his parents to find out, but it also implies that he's just buying his time. Like, he's like, I don't care if they find out, but I'd rather they didn't right now.
Yeah, like they're going to find out. And when they do, there's nothing they can do to stop me. But if they don't find out right now, that would make life a lot easier because I'd rather not like kill my mum and dad.
I'm still experimenting at the moment, so I just could do with a little time to test this shit out before I go full nuclear.
And the thing is, the shit he does is so bizarre. Like, he goes and visits the girl he fancies at school, and that scene is so creepy. Like, he switches her laptop on and she doesn't see him, and it starts playing. I don't know what it is. It's like some Roy Orbison fucking
yeah
love song. She's like, oh, that's fucking weird. Gets out of bed, closes her laptop, turns around, and literally as she turns around, it goes back on. The laptop's back open, and she like closes it and puts like fucking pretty much gets like a bowling ball and sticks it on top, going, right, stay. Don't do it again. And as she turns, there's that bit where the curtains blow in the wind, and he's just there, just staring. I'm like, oh, dude, you're so rapey. Like, go away.
But that was what's interesting about that scene is it happened immediately after the parents are starting to question his behavior, and he's like, oh, he's being a bit odd, and they find them weird, like, not necessarily porno mags, it's just Victoria's Secret models, cover posters. And then he has a conversation about the birds and the bees with Brandon, and Brandon's like, what, like now? Like, now? And I'm like, well, no, not right now, you know. And he's like, what, like right this now? Shall I just now?
Yeah, it starts off like they find the effectively porn mags. They're not there. Yeah, like you say, Victoria's Secrets. But then like 3 pages into Victoria's Secrets where you can see the dad's like, that's my boy. That's my boy. It goes to like internal dissections of people and like organs hanging out. He's like, oh. And the mum's like,
never into that.
The mum's like, is this a guy thing? He's like, no, like, not my thing. And yeah, the talk about the birds and the bees, like, look, sometimes you get this urge, like, if you want to touch yourself, like, you can do that.
Like, now?
His dad's like, no, not right now. He's like, oh. And he's like, anyway, right, let's just shoot this deer because you're fucking weird.
That's the thing about the dad. I think the dad is the best character in this movie because he's the only one who is trying to be like, this kid's fucking odd. I don't care if he's supposedly my son. He's fucking dangerous.
I don't even think he thinks he's dangerous. I think he just thinks he's...
Oh, no, he thinks he's dangerous, man. Later on in that, when he kills his uncle, he's like, the fucking weirdo did it. I know he did.
Oh, yeah, later on, he definitely... Like, at the moment, he's like, oh, my son's a bit of a fucking weirdo, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. So we're just going to do guy things and shoot this deer, and maybe that'll fix it.
Again, that scene didn't make sense either, because he gets given the gun as a birthday present, and they cause a big scene in the diner, and he's like, "You're not allowed guns. We're not doing guns." And then in the very next scene, he takes him out hunting with the gun.
Yeah. I think it was more of a case of, look, we have guns, you can go hunting, but you are 12, you cannot have your own gun. I think that was more what it was.
I think it was one of those ones where he was like making a point to the uncle and being like, "Dude, you should have spoke to me about this first. What the fuck you buying him a gun for?"
Yeah, I think that was more what it was. And the uncle's quite cool. Like, he's a cool uncle. Like, his uncle brought him a gun. Like, that's a cool uncle. Trust falls at school, and like he gets put in the middle of this circle, and they do this weird trust fall thing. And the girl, just because she saw him in his room, just moves and lets him fall. And
she blatantly calls him a pervert, though, which I forgot about.
She's like, "You pervert," and then the teacher's like, "You will help him up, or you will fail this class." And she grabs hold of his hand, and Brandon's like,
"Oh, that was a cool sound effect." It like fucking like a marigold full of jelly, mate. It was fucking minging.
It's literally like an industrial accident level crush of her hand.
Yeah, like that required multiple to the point where I think no, they'd probably just amputate that.
Yeah, and this leads to that moment in the school where you've got the parent, the mum of the girl, and the mum and dad of Brandon, and it is one of the best scenes ever. I love this parent teacher moment where the
mum holds mass restraint in this scene.
Do you think?
I think so, yeah. Because if another parent was saying the kind of shit that this trailer trash waitress was saying about my son, I reckon I would bust out some Stone Cold Stunners quite easily.
She does go really hard. She's like
proper hard, like to the point where I was like, I don't think I would say that about a full-grown adult, and you're talking about a 12-year-old boy. Like, what kind of integrity do you have as a person to speak the way? I understand he's her son, but kids are kids, you know, and you probably don't know the full extent of what happened. So, like,
yeah,
I've had it loads of times now as a parent. I was one of those parents where when Margot was growing up, if ever there was an incident, she was my sweet little angel. She would never do no wrong. And I would always side with her and, like, you know, be like, no, she's a kid. She didn't do it on purpose. But she's getting older now. She's deceptive as fuck, man. And I can tell she's got me wrapped around her little finger and she knows how to play me. So she's probably been doing this for a while now. So I'm very cautious about what I say now.
Yeah, and I think there's a thing as a parent, your natural instinct is to instantly go, Papa Bear, no, fuck you. My kid's a saint, even though deep down you know probably they're not. And like I had it with Kane, like we had loads of problems with Kane where he got in fights at school, and I was in there going, well, there must be a reason. And then like on the way home, I'm like, what happened? He's like, he just pissed me off. I was like, did you do anything particular? He's like, nah, not really. I'm like, dude, I've just been in there going, there must be a reason. They're investigating. He's like, yeah, they're not going to find it. Brilliant. He's like, I didn't want to stop you though. Like, you were on a roll. Thanks, mate. This one, he's like 14. I'm like, oh, dude, you're just an absolute fucking nightmare. One thing I like about this is the girl who plays the girl who gets her hand crushed.
Mm-hmm.
She is effectively meant to be the Lois Lane character to Brandon. So in an early script, she was going to be basically his assistant, if you will, and going to be on his side, but they changed it. The essay she's writing is The Decline of Truth and Justice, which is a nod to Superman's motto, truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
There was also a mid-credit scene that was cut where she was going to, after her hand was crushed, she was going to be working in a robotics lab with a team that were building her a prosthetic arm. And she gets to crush something like really hard, like a rock or something, and then has the realization of, fuck, I can fight back. And they were going to make her almost into a dark version of Iron Man.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Kind of. Do you know what? I like the way that this is grounded. I know we get the closing credit sequence with Mel from The Walking Dead. I always forget his name, Michael Rooker. And they imply that there is Aquaman version in this universe and a couple of others. I can't think who else they reference. I know Aquaman's one of the main ones. So they are trying to set up as if this is a world out there that does feature other anti-heroes, if you will. But I like the grounded aspect of this, and I think that mid-credit sequence would have cheapened the rest of the story, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it will. I think the plan was to not necessarily pay it off in this movie, but I think the plan was always to tee up for a sequel.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think like that would have halted my expectations for what I wanted for a sequel. If that was the direction that they were going to go in, with her being the back and forth of justice and vengeance kind of thing against Brandon, I just don't think that would have worked for me. Like I like the dark ambiguity of the ending of this movie, and I think setting up something which is kind of cheap, in my opinion, would have ruined the past sort of 10 years of what I've spent thinking I would love a sequel to Brightburn.
Yeah, I think one thing they do really well in this is they do the horror elements really well. Like the scene in the diner where it's the mum of the girl he's crushed the hand. She works in the diner and she's cashing up, and all the lights flicker, and then she turns around, all the mist on the windows, there's these backwards like BB symbols for Brandon Byers, and then the light flickers and explodes. That shard of glass in the eyeball is
incredible.
Awful.
Incredible. And the way she pulls it out as well, I'm like, I don't know if you should do that personally. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, is to pull that out, but it looked incredible when she did. And I don't know if it did happen to me, whether I physically could have done that. Do you think you had, I know your eyes and eye, but does it have the similar sort of nerve system in it? Like your hand and things like that, where you cut it?
I don't know, but I don't think I could pull it out if I wanted to.
I mean, your immediate reaction is to, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. But you see with her, like, it's the wrong decision. She pulls it out, blood spurts everywhere, and then she can't see out of one eye at all.
I love the cinematography in this. I think it's visually really, really cool, where you've got half a red camera and half a normal camera, and you see Brandon flickering around in the background, and you can vaguely see him through the red mist of the blood in her eye. I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Do you know how they've done it? They put the camera inside a prosthetic skull to shoot through the eye hole that gave the feeling that you were actually inside the head. And then obviously where they're shooting out the two eyes, one of the eyes they spattered in blood to give that effect. So that was one shot taken from inside a fake skeleton head.
That's really cool.
Really, really cool. Her death is amazing as well. Like,
we don't see her death though, do we?
No, but the bit where she like locks herself in the freezer and she's like, oh, I'm safe now. And you just get that slow laser burn down the middle of the doors, and then the doors just like go poof, poof, and rip off. I'm like, oh man,
it's a good jump scare, because the doors again. I pulled into question when I watched it this time around. I was like, surely he would have pulled the doors off, or he has telekinesis and did it from the other side of the room. How has he pulled the doors off and we can't see him pulling the doors off? Because the doors basically like vacuum pull away from the thingy, and then he just like flies in through screen and just takes her off, which looked great. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, does Superman have telekinesis? I don't think he does. So
no, nor does Brandon. He just he moves so quickly you couldn't see him. It was one of the
call bullshit on that. Call bullshit on that.
Let's be honest, it was something they didn't think of, and they've gone, he's super fast. If anyone asks, he's really fast. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not denying how super fast he is. He ran around that full fucking diner in like 10 seconds and wrote BB everywhere. Which, by the way, I didn't realize until this time around either that symbol was Brandon Byers BB, because it is only that throwaway conversation with the sheriff when he turns up to speak to the mum later on in the movie.
Yeah, and he's like, it looks like a B and a B, and the mum's like, don't know what you're on about. I've never seen it before in my life. And he's also got like that moment where he's drawing his comic book character in the same way like a Spider-Man sketches out his costume and his logo and shit.
Yeah. Again, let's talk about the mask, because I like the mask, But it's weird to make yourself look like an elephant.
Yeah, like it was the blanket he was wrapped in as a child. So it's the alien. It's the only thing he's got of his original parents, if you will.
But was
So
it, or was that the blanket she brought out to wrap him up in?
no, that was the blanket. He was in that blanket in the spaceship.
I know he is in the dream sequence that we see, but why did he not come to Earth in clothes then if they have fabric?
I don't know. I don't know, but that is definitely the blanket that was in his spaceship. So that's why I think he used it. But let's be honest, his stitching skills are not great.
No, he's just a trunk with shoelaces on it, and I just don't get it. Like, I think it looks cool, but it looks like a kind of like weird elongated gas mask.
Yeah, again though, it looks creepy and it works for me as what it is. Like it serves a purpose.
I'm nitpicking.
One of the things in this, the diner was called Darbo's. This is a direct reference to Frank Darbo, who's the Crimson Bolt, who's the main character from James Gunn's other superhero movie, which is also dark, called Super. The Crimson Bolt also appears in the post-credit montage as one of the superheroes on that, like where Merle's giving all these.
Right, yeah.
The Crimson Bolt is one of those characters there. So I think the intention was to tie those two movies together, but then James Gunn went on and done Marvel. And
I never saw Super, but I thought that was a straight up comedy, was it not? They have Rainn Wilson in. Is that the one?
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I know it. I'm sure Super's dark. Call in.
No,
Call
that's
in.
Super 8, isn't it?
That's different. That's Steven Spielberg. That's a proper horror movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a found footage one, isn't it?
Yeah, Super's another James Gunn superhero movie from 2010.
I'm pretty sure it's a comedy with Rainn Wilson in. I might be wrong on that. My only real experience with James Gunn is Guardians of the Galaxy, Slither, which is fucking glorious. I love Slither. Someone put Slither on the show. Someone call in and request that, because that movie is fantastic.
Yeah, I think James, in fact, because this is James Gunn and it's his brother and his cousin as well. All three of them done this. So it was James Gunn produced it. It was written by Marc Gunn and directed by his cousin Brian Gunn.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought this was all James Gunn. Direction, everything.
No, this is James Gunn, his brother, and his cousin. So this is like a full family affair Gunn movie, which is cool. Like working with your brother and your cousin on a movie like this, I imagine is a ton of fun.
Is it the brother who plays like Weasel and shit in all his like other weird movies? Like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. The dad getting suspicious, I think, is where this movie really gets interesting for me. Where the dad's like, there's something really not right here, and he finds like his behavior's weird and it's odd, and the dad's like, oh, this isn't quite right. And then you get this like Brandon going to intimidate his auntie, who's also the school counselor. Like he gets called in for a meeting. She's like, I need to report to the sheriff and I need to show that you're showing remorse for what you've done to this little girl. And he's like, She's like, you do feel bad for it though, don't you? He's like, no, not so much. And she's like, why is that? He's like, because I'm superior to all of you. And the auntie's like, I need to tell the sheriff that. And he's like, that would be a bad idea. And then he doubles down and goes to his auntie's house. He's like, you went to talk to the sheriff. She's like, yeah. He's like,
that's going to be really bad for you.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what I told you earlier. Like, that is the worst thing you could possibly do. And she's like, go home, Brandon. Like, fucking safe travels. Get out of here.
I think the thing for me is one thing I really like about that particular scene in the school counseling session is that it's the first time we really see how unhinged his mind is, because he's talking about him as such a superior person to everybody else around him. Whereas before, everything leading up to it is him sort of experimenting with this newfound capability that he has and his unassurance of what is right and what is wrong. Yeah. Now we fully get it fleshed out that he thinks he is superior to everybody and he does not give a shit now going forward.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's right. Like, he's super fast, he's super strong, he can fly, he's got fucking laser vision. I don't care which way you cut it, he is superior to everybody else. There's no if, buts, or maybes. He's right in his thinking, but it's not a good thinking to have as a 12-year-old boy who hasn't learned the full difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
Like, for you and me, like, don't get me wrong, we would still both become Homelander, but I think I would do more good than I would do bad as a general rule.
You see, the thing is, I think for me, right, say if this had happened now at the age I'm at, and I was like, all of a sudden woke up one morning and I was fucking awesome. Most mornings. Okay, let's say if I woke up and I had superpowers, I'd be like, right. It'd be like if I won the lottery. Like, I wouldn't tell people.
No.
I would just massively benefit from the situation, because I feel like if people knew, that would ruin everything. And I wouldn't go around with a mask on and just fucking start doing really creepy, weird shit. But what I mean is like, I could sneak into a bank.
100%. I am super fast. I will be in and out of that vault with so much money and no one will ever know.
Like, if I did, and that's the thing when I watch a lot of these superhero movies, I'm like, you're poor as fuck. Like, you know you're Superman, right? You know you're Spider-Man. You don't need to live on this farm. You don't need to live in this shitty apartment. Like, you can do shit. Like, take a wage for what you're doing.
Yeah, like, just like, and take it from a big corporation that's got insurance and that can afford it, so you don't feel as bad. Like, don't rob from the little people. Even if you're that much of a superhero, when you take out the drug cartel that you're evidently going to end up fighting, take all of their money.
Yeah.
Like, earn money that way. That's kind of the premise for Kick-Ass, though, isn't it? That's what, like, the villains the heroes in that are like, yeah, well, we need to fund this shit, so we take all of the drug dealers' money and we take their drugs and we also sell it. Like, so you're a
like, if you were Superman and you had like X-ray vision and then like laser vision, so you could like scour the ground and be like, oh, there's gold. There's a big, massive rock of gold there, the biggest rock of gold anyone's seen. It's only 12 foot down. You just laser that shit out and dig it up yourself. You don't have to worry about the size of it because you can clearly lift it. You know, exactly, you could just spend an afternoon searching for gold.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I think that to be a superhero in the Marvel tense, you need to have a pure soul. And for the vast majority of people, including you and me, and I imagine 99% of people listening, yes, we'd do a lot of good, but we would also be borderline Homelander. You imagine being a superhero and your boss is a prick to you at work. It's just not going to wash, is it? You're going to like laser a hole in his trousers, set his shoes on fire and shit like that because you can.
Yeah, too right.
His uncle finding him in the closet is the funniest fucking thing ever, because in a normal movie, killer goes and hides in the closet, someone comes in, there's a scream, the killer takes him out. The uncle opens the closet, looks at Brandon, pulls the hood off and goes, the fuck are you doing, you creepy little weirdo? Let's fucking take you home, and like marches him out. And like this, I love it. He's like, get in the fucking car. He's like, are you going to tell your parents? Of course I'm going to fucking tell your parents. And he's
You're
like,
lucky that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, he's like, that would be a bad idea. And then he's gone. And the uncle's like, oh, like the uncle's really switched on.
He throws him into the garage, doesn't he? You like fucking blast him into the garage, and his uncle's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he disappears first, and then he pops back, and he does that laser blast into the shed. And the uncle's like the dad. He's like, oh, fuck, gets in his car and like hammers it down the road. That moment where all of his lights start flickering and it like fades, and the uncle's going, no, fucking no.
Immediately when he was doing that was like my reaction. I was like, yeah, that'd be me, just pure denied, like, nope. No. And
it lights up the road, and Brandon's like hovering 4 foot off the ground. And he sees him. He's like, no, come on, start. And it gets closer and closer and closer, and then he's gone. And then the lift of the car, which is a nod to, I think it's Superman #1. It was before the actual suit. Like, that is the scene of Superman lifting the car to save someone. And in this, they've reversed it, lifts the car up and drops it. man, this jaw break.
Oh, the steering wheel. Fuck. Do you know what? It's not actually like I've got a strong stomach for horror movies. The thing with scenes like this is it's never the actual act itself, it's the reactions of the people afterwards. So,
Yeah.
like the scene where it hit it, yeah, it looked cool as fuck, you know, but it didn't affect me. It was the fact that he was still alive afterwards and tried to pick his jaw back up into place where I was like, oh no, you're alive and you can feel all this shit. That's awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. They used practical effects for this as well. So they built a practical jaw and like blued out his mouth, and then the jaw was actually hanging that he pushes back up, and then they just CGI'd out all of the blue screen, which is why it looks so good, because it genuinely looks great.
It look the best looking part of the practical effects in this movie. Like, to be fair though, I mean, we talked about the eye scene earlier on. That still holds up pretty well as well. I mean, it's still clearly more CGI than I would like, but it's considering how old is this movie now? Was this 2019? Was it
19, yeah.
Yeah. Considering this is like 7 years old, I think it looks pretty impressive still.
Yeah, I do as well. And like, there's a moment after this where the police have kind of worked out what's happening. They go to see the mum. She's like, no. Yeah, it's fine. He's out hunting with his dad, and the dad's taking him out to like talk to him because Brandon didn't react. Like, he's like, your uncle's dead, and Brandon's like, like, no,
I said, do you want me to cry? I was like,
yeah.
oh, dickhead, I'm gonna punch you.
Do you want me to be upset? And the dad's like, yeah, well, we're gonna go hunting. The dad, like the mum,
does the mum know his intentions at this point?
No, definitely
because they
not.
have the big argument. They have the big argument where he turns around to her and says he's this and this, and the mum's ultra defensive, and she's like proper kicking off, like she's ultra defensive, and then he gets into bed later that night, and at that point the mum's already like questioning what she said. Like she's umming and ahhing about the situation, and he says to her when he gets in bed something like, "I'm going to take him out hunting, just the two of us." And then like she grabs his arm and cuddles him in, as if to be like, I don't know, because it can play either way. But to me, it was like, does she know what he's gonna do?
No, see, my take on it was that she thinks he's done what the dad should do. Is like, look, I'm going to take him out, just the two of us. We're going to go hunting. We're going to talk things through. And like, as a dad, when you've got teenage boys, there are points where you go, look, he's being a bit of a prick. I'm going to take him out for the day. We're going to have proper dad talk where I'm not going to be dad anymore. I'm going to be his mate and go like, what's going on? I think that's what she thinks.
I didn't know if it was one of it was an old yellow moment and she was kind of in on it.
No, I don't think it was. And the bit where he takes him out and Brandon's like tracking the animal, he's like, oh yeah, I think it goes this way. And the dad's up behind him and like gets the gun. He's like, all right, so which way did it go? And as Brandon stands up, he's like,
look at the pretty flowers.
It really is. Look at the pretty flowers, Brad. Like, gunshot to the back of the head. And it's the moment where Brandon just like he's got no reaction. He sort of pauses and say,
motherfucker.
Does that shoot me in the back of the head?
It's the dad's realization of like, oh fuck.
He turns around, the dad's like, now Brandon, let me explain. Like, it was kind of an accident. And the way he kills his dad is the most brutal of any kill in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he does holds his head, like, look into my eyes, daddy. And he just burns a fucking hole till it pops the back of his head out. It's so rough.
Yeah, it's brutal as fuck, man, as well. And the thing is, he's alive for a good majority of as well until the point where he reaches like his brain at the back of his head. I'm like, oh no, that's nasty.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. Brandon then goes home, obviously to kill his mum, because he's like, well, mum's fucking obviously in on this. And the mum rings the dad to find out where he is.
I know, the stupid bitch as well. She's like, it's Brandon, he's a killer, he's a killer. Like, yeah. It's Brandon on the other end of the phone. He's like, oh shit.
And she's like, where are you, honey? He's like, I'm home. Crushes the phone, like fucking like rips about 1,000 holes through the house. And this is where she gets hold of the police, and the police turn up. the police did not deserve the level of brutality that they got from Brandon.
Especially not the sheriff as well. Like, I really like the sheriff in this movie. He's very Morgan Freeman in Seven. You know, he's piercing it all together behind the scenes. And he just gets, like, splatted like a tomato.
Yeah, literally Brandon just like tears through him like, thanks for coming.
And it's the police officer afterwards as well. Instead of being like, what the fuck was that? She fully tries to stick to her duty. It's like, you go and hide. 911, we need backup. We need backup. I'm like, you need more than backup for this situation you're in.
Yeah, unless you're calling the entire military.
And I don't think that would do much damage either.
No, and any superheroes that you might have lurking in a locker somewhere, you are absolutely fucked. They also tie really, like in the beginning of the film where Brandon falls, he trips and falls into where the spaceship is, and the spaceship cuts him.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a nice little touch that they show he can be hurt, so they can bring it full circle here. Where,
well, they don't really, though, do they?
but they give you the illusion they're gonna. So, like, the mum lures Brandon into the barn where she's got a piece of the shard of the ship, and she goes to stab him in the back, and he catches her hand. And I'm like, oh no.
I genuinely thought as well. Like, I remember the first time I was watching this, like, I thought she was going to succeed, and this was going to have a happy ending.
Yeah, and it didn't. Like, she goes to do it and he catches it, and then he just flies through the roof all the way up into the sky, and she's all cut and everything, and he looks at her and he's like, well, I'm just going to drop you off here now. Okay, bye-bye.
Brutal.
It's so heartless, and like they show her falling, like screaming, reaching up for Brandon to save her, and there's no sound. It's all in slow-mo. And there's just no emotion on his face, just watching his mum fall. I'm like, oh, that's really, really, really rough.
I like how clever this scene is and how he masquerades it all, because the next scene is the plane flying towards him.
Yeah.
And he just uses that as a scapegoat. He basically just stops the plane midair and crashes it on his house.
Yeah, so then he's got an alibi then, like the police turn up and he's like the only survivor of this plane that demolished his house, and he's effectively going free. In the early script for this, it was suggested that the mum would survive and the mum would take him out, or at least injure him enough that he would maybe have a redemption arc. A lot of the producers pushed for that, and a lot of the studio push was for that. Apparently, James Gunn, his brother, and his cousin all shut that shit down in the first conversation they had about it, going, no, you're missing the point. It is a horror movie. And in the horror movie, the superhero doesn't have a redemption arc and become a hero, and the mum doesn't survive. And apparently the studio went, but we'd like them to. They're like, yeah, but they don't, because it's a horror movie. And
the thing is, there's no way of redeeming the prior actions of Brandon to go on and make a sequel where he's a good guy.
No, not. So do you think he grew up to be Homelander? I'm just thinking about it now.
No, definitely not. I think the world was destroyed by the time he hit 15, in all honesty.
Yeah, I definitely take a sequel, especially when they set up all of these other disasters and all these other superheroes at the end. I think a superhero movie, again, like they show Brandon, like, taking down an office block just because he can, like burning a cruise liner because why not? Like, I think having these other superheroes try to take Brandon down and again just have him destroy them all would be a good movie. I'd watch that.
Yeah, and again, you just have to implement the similar sort of source material you have of the DC universe with Superman and Aquaman, and instead of it being like a Justice League, you know, you just have like this fucking league of supervillains sort of thing.
The League of Arseholes.
Yeah, you know, and you have a Lex Luthor character who, instead of being the dickhead Lex Luthor we're used to, is actually the protagonist for a change, you know. It's a very fine line to walk without legal battles being ensued. Yeah. But I think given the fact that they got away with so much in this movie without any legal battles, because this is very, very clearly a
But
fucking Superman ripoff.
I reckon if you change the opening title sequence to the Superman, like low, when it comes up Brightburn, if it come up Superman and you watch the first 3/4 of this movie before he does the first bad thing, at no point would anyone question that it wasn't Superman, not once.
No.
And to be fair, he's a really good Clark Kent. He's a really good young Superman.
Yeah, I think the movie does a fantastic job of portraying the alternate reality of what would have been if Superman had not had the Kents, you know? And I know I nitpicked on it at the beginning of it being a little bit of a misstep in using the family being as a source material of that neglect, because I don't feel like it was a strong enough argument to produce what they produce with this movie. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic otherworldly alternative. But again, I feel like the story would have worked on a much higher level had the parents been assholes.
Yeah, I do. Like, if the parents are really bad, like, the problem with doing that, though, is you then run the risk of making Brandon the anti-hero, and he's not meant to be the anti-hero. Like, if his dad knocked him
They kind
around,
of do that a little bit with the Halloween remake, don't they?
Yeah, exactly that. You kind of go, do you know what? I understand why. And I think if you do that with a character like Brandon and you go, I kind of get it, it takes that sinister edge away. Like him dropping his very loving mother who done nothing but dote on him and wanted the best for him to her death is horrific. Him dropping an abusive mother from 100 foot in the air, we're kind of going to go, good for you.
Yeah. No, now, I get that. I do get that side of it. I just think the fact that they lean so heavily on the fact that it's nature versus nurture as an alternate reality of what Superman was is a bit of a misstep, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it is as well. I'm going to keep my score a 4 for this. I think it does everything right, but there's a couple of things I want it to do better.
Yeah, I have the exact same standpoint. I'm going to keep myself go the same. It's a fantastic movie, and I would never begrudge my viewing of it. You know, I think if there was ever a moment where, I mean, this was on Netflix for a long period of time, and I probably wore it out to death being on there because it was just one of those movies that I could just put on and enjoy. It
was on Netflix until I wanted to watch it for the show, and then it wasn't.
Mate, this happens all the time for me. Like, there's movies that come up on the poll, I'm like, oh, it's on Netflix. I've seen that pop up fucking a billion times in the past 3 years as a recommended watch. And then I'll go to watch it for the show, and I'm like, oh, fuck, we're recording tomorrow, and it's not on Netflix anymore. What the fuck am I going to do?
Honestly, this one was like, I saw it like 3 days ago. It was on Netflix. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We'll do Brightburn. That's on Netflix. And then you message me going, it's not on Netflix. I'm like, oh for fuck's sake. But
killer, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got a voicemail, but this is not a voicemail that's necessarily been sent into the show. So we were having a conversation in our group chat, and Heather revealed that she had had a dream about you. And we questioned as to what that dream was, and Heather gave it to us in a voice note. And I think we're close enough with our audience now where we can share Heather's personal dreams about Marc with the world. So
I can't remember what it was now.
Your memory's so bad. It's great.
It's terrible. It really is.
You hear a lot of the voicemails we get throughout the week. And then when we play them, your reactions are like the first time you've heard them. And it's forgotten.
Yeah, it's not an act. It's genuinely serious. I forget. I deal with a lot, man.
You really should get tested for Alzheimer's.
It's not Alzheimer's. I have a lot of life problems. And I think sometimes I forget menial stuff, which no offense, Heather, you know what I mean?
How could you say Heather dreaming about you is not menial? That's really important.
I just retain information that's important, you know, and had the dream being, let's be honest, a little bit more in towards what I would have wanted it to be, I probably would have retained that information.
Well, let's share what Heather's dream was about.
My God, I shouldn't have even said anything. It was not anything like, I say weird in the sense of like why were you in my dream? You know what I mean? But it was not anything erotic, exotic, sensual, or anything. The only thing I can remember is that I like woke up and we were in a house. You were there and you're standing there just kind of like looking at me, and I'm like, what? But it was like weird. It was like not a house that I've ever seen before in my dream. And so I was just like, why is Mark here? Like, this is really strange. So, you know, like after the fact. But I don't 100% remember. Nothing weird happened. It was just weird in general that I had a dream about you. I think it was all the just probably back and forth of us talking at the time when I had the dream. And then you guys did the Patrick Wilson thing. And I don't know. It just got stuck in my head. Okay, bye.
See, the thing is, right?
You Brandon biased her dream.
The fact that she had to justify how non-sexual and non-weird the dream is just showcases to you all listening where that conversation went in the group chat before Heather finally responded with a voice note.
Yeah, like it's like Heather's like, I had a dream about Mark, and like my first response was he naked and oiled riding a unicorn?
I think we went on for about 20 minutes about possibilities of what it could have been before Heather finally realized she had a notification and had to respond.
Yeah, exactly that.
I'm honored, Heather. Thank you. Thank you for dreaming about me.
And if anyone else has dreams about me and Mark, please call into the show. I really hope that we've reached like Freddy Krueger status where me and Mark are just tormenting you in your dreams. Could you imagine if we now get a load of calls like, yeah, I have a dream about Mark watching me in my sleep too. Mark's
Do you remember that
there.
weird phase that Dave B. Movies went through where he was like touching himself in the bath while listening to the podcast? Was that just an act for a long time?
No, we've had many people call into the show who touch themselves while they listen to us. And yeah, you go to it. Go on. Tug it. Rub it.
Dude.
We have no interactive features this week, so we decided we were going to do cover notes and come up with some cover notes for the movie and change what they had. I've got some. I've got 4. So do you want to go with yours first, or do you want me to go with mine?
Let's alternate, just in case we went down a similar path. I'll let you go first. I'll go second, third, fourth.
Okay. Brightburn, Superman, but a little bit more rapey.
So you're going down the comedy value. I tried to be a little bit more creative with mine and do something that would be a little bit more serious. So I went with Brightburn, Fear Has a New Cloak.
I like that. Brightburn, puberty is a bitch, especially when you can fly through buildings.
Brightburn, the beginning of the end.
I like that. Brightburn, the ultimate you're not my parents energy.
Brightburn, not every gift is a blessing.
Oh, you should write taglines for movies.
I like that one. Yeah, I did like that one.
My last one, Brightburn, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear capes, burlap sacks, and kill their mum.
My last one is Brightburn, fuck around and find out.
Again, all of those work. I think we need to do cover notes periodically. I like cover notes. I do have a game. This is a game that I come up with. I've been thinking about this game for a while, and I've wanted to play a game like it. And this episode is the perfect way to play a superhero game. So we're going to play Name That Hero. Mm-hmm. So I have written some vague descriptions of heroes. And from my vague description, you need to guess who the superhero is that I'm talking about.
Right, okay. I'm well versed in the superhero lore, so I feel like I'd be quite good at this.
See, I think you will be good at this because you are well versed in the superhero lore. So, has a history of adopting young athletic boys and forcing them to wear brightly coloured spandex while he hides in the shadows wearing head-to-head black rubber.
Okay, maybe I'm not very good at this game at all. Adopting young
athletic boys and forcing them to wear brightly coloured spandex while he hides in the shadows wearing head-to-toe rubber.
That's a Power Rangers, is it not?
That's Batman.
What children does he adopt?
Robin.
And Nightwing, yeah, all right, okay. I thought you were going for like the whole Power Rangers thing and General Zord, not General Zord. Who the fuck's Bryan Cranston in the glass tank? My mind has gone weird tonight.
Zordon.
Zordon. I was going to say I'm a big Power Rangers fan. How did I not know that?
Rangers, danger. Right. Spends his days giving lectures on bad language while desperately trying to play frisbee with unwilling participants.
Captain America.
It is Captain America. Right. Spends most of his time alone with a white sticky substance between his fingers, but photographs it and shares it with the world, and people seem to love it.
Spider-Man.
It is Spider-Man.
Right. Let me just. I'm currently getting very hyped up for Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Yeah, me too.
Massive Spider. Yeah, I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, and all of them are on Netflix at the moment, apart from the latest Tom Holland ones. So I've gone through Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield's, and I'm currently, because I own the Tom Holland ones, I'm watching them all. I'm just up to. I've literally got Far From Home left to watch. Basically,
Yeah.
I'm on the last one, which is awesome because all the Spider-Men come into it. What Spider-Man are you? And don't just be a fanboy of Sam Raimi and go for.
I think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man.
Yes, I was watching them, and I watched Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and I was like, "This is the best Spider-Man movies I have ever seen in my life. This is perfect. It's so good."
The Spider-Man, the Tom Holland, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, where he gets himself inside the crane and does that double web and fires himself like that shot as it goes down the inside of the triangle of the crane. As a Spider-Man fanboy, I'm like, this is the best thing ever. And I'm playing Miles Morales at the moment.
Oh yeah, you're doing the playthrough, aren't you? How are you getting on with that?
I finished the first Spider-Man. I'm now 3/4 of the way through Miles Morales. I've got Spider-Man 2 rocked up and ready to go. And the Venom game comes out in about 8-10 weeks.
Oh, that's cool. You get a Venom game.
Yeah, so I'm playing back through them to get to ready for when they release Venom. And
so you're doing the same thing as me, except you're ready for the game. I'm ready for the new movie.
Yeah, exactly that. Right, your next one. A high-ranking foreign national who travels around the globe to tie people up with her special whip, spends most of her time in a star-spangled swimsuit, even though she's from nowhere near the United States of America.
Wonder Woman.
It is Wonder Woman. And your last one, a world-class professional getting close to powerful men and ending them with a thigh clamp so tight her victims are happy to go out that way.
Ooh. Black Widow.
It is Black Widow. And to be fair, I would quite happily go out to that thigh clamp. Like, if I'm going to go out, that's the way I want to go out. It is time for one of my favorite segments we've ever done, and I love it, and it's definitely going to stay forever, and it is the VHS hunt.
He's the king of the spool, the lord of the stack. If it's on magnetic tape, there's no turning back. From the floor to the ceiling, he's a mastermind hoarder, keeping analog alive on the edge of the border. Rewind, right under the static flip. It's Marc, VHS from the crypt.
What up, bitches?
I'm really pleased with your intro.
I really like my intro music. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, VHS from the crypt. So yeah, sorry, I'm distracted. What have you brought us this week?
It's been a tough one this week because I don't own any superhero movies that I could have presented tonight to showcase that would sort of correlate with the movie Brightburn. There was a few options that I have that I was going to go with, The Crow being one of them, but I feel like that would be a wasted one to showcase on this episode. I also was going to use Hellboy, but again, I feel like there's an alternative universe out there somewhere where we will cover Hellboy at some point.
Yeah, I think Hellboy's one we can definitely get away with covering. Maybe we should poll that. Hellboy, I prefer Hellboy 2 and the Golden Army, if I'm honest.
It loses itself at the end. The original Hellboy is really, really cool, though. I do like the Golden Army. That's not to take anything away from it, but I do think the original is better. So what I decided to go with this week was my collection of Species tapes. I have all three, even though there is 4 movies. The fourth one didn't get a VHS release. We've covered Species, the original, on this show already, and I'm obviously not going to get the chance to talk about it. But I've never seen Species 2 or 3. Have you checked out either of these yet?
I've seen all the Species. Species 2 is good.
Natasha Hendricks is back in that one again. I'm assuming so,
Yeah.
based on the fact that she looks incredibly sexy on the cover.
Yes, Species 2 is Species again, but slightly more erotic. Species
so that
3,
sounds perfect.
yeah, Species 3 onwards is just, it's not good. It's like they just abandoned all hope, ye who enter here, when they got to the third one.
You can tell the franchise has taken a dip when its age rating goes down from 18 to 15, and the tagline is the sexiest sci-fi thriller is back.
Yeah.
But again, Natasha Hendricks is on the back of that one, so she must be in part 3 slightly.
Yeah, I think she's briefly in part 3. It's been a long time since I've seen 3, but yeah, 1 and 2 I think are great.
Yeah, 3 is a cool one to have because this is a very rare tape. Because again, this is back at the back days of VHS's lifespan.
Yeah.
So as much as this is a boring addition to what is usually quite a cool segment on the show, Species 3 is one of the rarer tapes in my collection because it's just they didn't make many of them because DVD releases were also running alongside the time that Species 3 was released. So though you won't find this in many people's collections. One thing I am thankful of is when I did start collecting VHS tapes, I was really into shit horror movies.
Yeah.
Which are now the movies that got limited releases, limited runs, limited productions. And I was eating them up like they were fucking going out of fashion when I first started collecting them. VHS tapes were not very expensive. And it's now come full circle for me because things like Species 3, which nobody gave a shit about and wanted to watch, is probably one of the most expensive tapes I probably own because it just doesn't exist anywhere outside of my office.
It's the same with DVDs as well, though. It's all the B-movie horror stuff. It's things like Vamp and Sleepaway Camp, like the DVDs that were mass-produced B-movie horror that no one bought, that everyone threw away and now you can't find, are the ones that are worth money.
The surgence in price in DVDs at the moment has blown my mind. I'll be honest with you. I know you mentioned to me a couple of times because obviously I'm a big charity shop hunter and car booter and things for collection for my own stuff. He was like, "Oh, if you ever find a copy of," I'm not going to say the DVD because once you say it and it's out there, people are onto the same gig that you're on, and we don't need that. But I was like, dude, it's fucking DVD, man. Just fucking go on eBay or Amazon. It's probably like 50p delivered for free. But yeah, I'm in like a big community of VHS collectors and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people on there at the moment, like saying, like, "Oh, has anybody got a copy of this DVD that I'm after?" I'm like, DVD? You're looking for a copy of a DVD. Everybody has DVDs and readily available. But yeah, man, it's DVD boom is on the rise. So if you're a DVD collector or you have a shit ton of DVDs stored in a box somewhere, check them out because they might be worth a bit at the moment.
Yeah, like I got into, so like you got into VHS at the right time. I got back into DVDs at the right time, and like what's behind me now is priceless. Things I've bought for like £1 that are now worth £20, and things I've bought for £12 that are now worth £40 is like just blows my mind every single time I look.
The thing that worries me, right? Like I've never bought any of my collection as an investment. I've never bought it to be like, right, I'm going to hold on to this because it's going to be worth something someday. I buy it because I want to watch it and I want to enjoy watching it and I want that nostalgic feeling from watching it in the format that I've purchased it in. But it's like everything has a shelf life. You know what I mean? Everything has an expiration date. And I wonder whether it gets to a certain point where how long do you hang on to this kind of stuff for before it starts to decrease in value? And it's not that I would ever get to the point where I'm like, oh, it's decreasing in value. Sell all. You know, it's just like for me, I'm going to wonder, is it going to get to another 10, 15 years down the line and people are going to be like, shit, and no one's buying that shit anymore. And I've just wasted an entire fortune on collecting it.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, at some point, I will be selective and I will get rid of certain things. Like at the moment, I'm playing the game where I'm trying to double things up that are worth money.
And how does that work?
Well, that's my investment. So I buy, if I find a DVD for a couple of quid that's worth a lot more and I can get more than one, I'll buy two. And one goes on my shelf and one goes in a box. And I have a box which is like if I'm ever really short of cash, I'm going to sell that box and recoup some money.
See, I should do that.
Yeah, you definitely should.
If I get spares of something that I have, I'm like, oh, Scott, I've got a big stack for you to take home.
Yeah, I would give them to you, but you don't collect DVDs, so
I don't. I have a couple of bits of DVDs. Nothing, to be honest with you. Looking around this room now, I have the entire Halloween collection on DVD. Yeah, I've started progressively picking up the steelbook versions of the Halloween movies. Even though the only ones that are available are the original Halloween, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, which I have all four. Yeah, they're the only steelbooks available in that franchise at the moment, and I will get the rest as they come out and when they do, just to have for my Halloween display. But the only actual DVDs I have. Oh, I also have the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray 4Ks and original DVD release because again, my Lord of the Rings collection. But the other DVD I have, let me just grab that because that's cool. Is literally the only box set I have in this entire office is show it that way because you can see it better. Is the complete Tales from the Crypt collection.
That's
which
cool.
It's fucking fantastic, man. It's a really, really cool DVD box set. And again, this was really, really cheap. I don't think I paid any more than 20 quid, I want to say, for this. But again, I bought this a year ago, and I know now this is like an 80, 90 quid box set in really poor condition. This is like it's still wrapped in polythene. It's perfect, you know, and it's a cool display piece in my office, but I'm just so shocked by the increase in value of DVDs at the moment.
Yeah, it's all going up. So if you want to start collecting now. And if you want to be in awe of a collection, go and follow Mark. He's at VHS from the Crypt on Instagram. Also at Reviews from the Crypt on Instagram, where he reviews horror movies as well. Go and check out both of his accounts. Make sure you check out our account as well. We're at You Run Podcasts. And that brings this week's episode to a close. Next week, we're going to be back, incredibly, with another superhero movie.
Really?
Yeah, which I didn't see coming.
Oh, shit! I couldn't use it this week because I'll need to use it next week.
Yeah. So next week, we are going to have a massive 90s rave with the best vampire slayer, fuck Buffy. Oh, I've just upset some people. We are going to talk, not you. We are going to be talking all about Blade and his original movie from 1998 as we revisit a movie that appeared on the show before Mark was a co-host, and we do Blade. I'm excited for that.
I am, but I'm also a bit sour as well because Halloween 2018 was in the running for a revisited episode and it didn't win.
You accused me of cheating. I had to send you the actual poll results.
I didn't accuse you necessarily of cheating. I was lying when I said Halloween was storming. I was just so convinced when the poll was announced that Halloween 2018 was winning. And even when it made it to the final, I was like, this is a fucking shoo-in. Everyone's going to pick Halloween franchise for this show, surely. Yeah. And no one did. And it lost to Blade, which again, it's not even the best Blade movie.
It's not. The best Blade movie is Blade 2.
Blade 2 is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I
really
fucking love Blade 2.
Shall I poll Blade 1 versus Blade 2 and see what they give us?
No, because I'm kind of curious to go back to Blade because I've been one of those people who loves Blade 2 unconditionally. I'm like, I swear by Blade 2 being the best, to the point where I haven't probably watched the original Blade movie since the early 2000s.
That's a long time.
It's a long, long time. And I feel like if I remember the raw grittiness of the original Blade movie, I feel like that's a movie that I'm probably going to appreciate a lot more now than I probably did before I watched Blade 2. So I'm curious to go back and watch Blade so I can have fresh eyes on it and be like, actually, do you know what? Blade 1's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep it as Blade 1 then. Everyone, make sure you go and watch Blade this week. You'll find copies of that absolutely everywhere. It's pretty much on every streaming service. But until then, I don't know.
Again, all 3 Blade movies are recently on Netflix, but I can guarantee it will not be there this week.
Exactly that. But until then, share us around like a spliff at a 90s party, review us like an Amazon product, and have a super week, and we'll see you all next Tuesday.
Peace out, guys.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast.
Late at night, I tune into your show where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long round ups.
You're on podcast. Horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled.
You're on podcast.
A Superman goes fascist. Now that's a scary movie.